evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the Status Network, the Lyve TV channel. This is a Conversation Corner with your host, the author, Andrew Snorton. And as we do every second and fourth Wednesday about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have great guests doing great things across entertainment, business, community, and more. And tonight, with it being the 25th anniversary of the legendary Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G. Before we get into our two great guests, we've got a couple of quick announcements that we want to make sure to share with you. So let's go ahead and get that first one up. And as a reminder about yours truly, the Author's Mixtape audiobook series, that is by me. Well, the first 3 volumes, and then volumes 4 and 5 featuring Chris 10. So if you are a fan of freestyle, spoken word, music, and more, download the Author's Mixtape from any of your favorite streaming platforms: Tidal, SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, Shazam, Deezer, and more. So make sure to go ahead and add that to your library. And speaking of adding to your library, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a legit published author. You want to know why? Type in my name. I guarantee you'll see me on Barnes & Noble. You'll see me on Amazon. You'll see me at some other bookstores. Nothing Minors for the baseball fans, especially of baseball in the Southeast, with a focus on our black players and a great feature on the Negro Southern Leagues Museum. 9 Stories of Faith Volume 1 is for you or someone you know who needs stories of motivation, encouragement, and empowerment. Then, of course, for the poetry lovers, Deeper Than Your Deepest Sleep, Thoughts on Love with Joseph Snorton. So make sure to add those today. And, of course, this is a great network to be on. And, yeah, all right, partially because I'm on it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. But anyway, not only that, but as you can tell, we have fun here. We put in work here. So if you or someone you know is looking for a network home, whether it's a full broadcast show like we have going on right now, pop-up shows, pay-per-view, podcasting, and even for people who do film, we have a movie channel. Make sure to connect with us at the information provided. Status Network, hey, our team is dope and a half, all that, and then some. Like, you know, some Welch's grape and a T-bone steak and some scrambled eggs. I know I'm saying it out of order, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's so timely that our first guest is joining us from my home state, the state of New Jersey, the real tri-state. Hate to make other people mad, but hey, it's not bragging if it's true. The real tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We've got 2 amazing people from a great performing arts. Not only that, but really performing arts with a conscience. So we're so excited to have back some of the great members of Styletainment. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing great. Andrew, thank you.
See, they planned that in unison and in chorus, ladies and gentlemen. That's talent right there that you've never seen before in your life. So first, I want to say, introduce the creative engine behind it, Missouri. So Missouri, say hello to our wonderful audience.
Hello, everyone. So nice to be on your show again, Andrew. Thank you for having us once again to get on here and share all the wonderful things that Styletainment is doing this year.
Hey, I tell you what, thank you so much. And we've also got someone who plays such a key role with Styletainment and really, I'll say, helping provide the creative conscience behind it. So, Miss Hattie, introduce yourself to the wonderful audience.
Hello, Andrew. It's nice to see you again. Hattie Smith here. I just want to say thank you. It's an honor to be here again with Missouri. She is the leader. She is the one. I'm simply supporting her the best I can.
But I tell you what, and we know that adage of team together, everyone achieves more. And I tell you what, it was great to have you on the show in November and being able to travel up in December for such a great event. And I tell you what, that might be the signature event, but the reality is that's the tip of the iceberg of the great work you're doing. Missouri, I'd like to start with you to give our audience, especially audiences who didn't get a chance to catch you in November, a point of reference where you're based out of and what were some of your moving parts which led you to coming up with Styletainment.
Oh, sure. Hello, everyone, again. So we're out of New Jersey, central New Jersey, and my story is pretty lengthy, but I'm going to just shorten it a little bit just to give you a good sense on who I am, what we do, and why we do it. So I am a 10-year breast cancer survivor. And when I was a little girl, my mom gave me my first Barbie doll for Christmas. And at the time, Barbie only came with the clothes on her back. So I thought that was so boring that she couldn't change clothes like I did. So my mom sewed, and I took remnant fabrics from her sewing baskets, and I made my Barbie a complete wardrobe. Not knowing that it would lead me to where I am today, I proceeded to give a runway fashion show, cardboard runway fashion show on my mom's dining room table. And after the show, I told my mom one day I'm going to do this big show at the age of 9 years old. And she passed me on the head and said, "Sure you will, child." Well, fast forward, as life happens to all of us as we grow up. And in 2010, when I was sitting in my chemo chair, and I asked myself the question, if I had all the money in the world, what would I be doing in my life? And my 9-year-old self spoke to me and said, "Remember you said you was going to do that big show?" And it was like light bulbs just went on everywhere in my head. And I remembered that I said I was going to do it, but the biggest aha moment that I got out of that message from my 9-year-old self was when I learned that there are homeless women that are going through cancer, that rang so loud to me. And I couldn't believe that you could, be a woman homeless and no one would help you. So I started my journey searching for places where, they could stay, if they had in New Jersey, what was available, and there was nothing available for long-term stay. So the big aha moment was that I could take something as beautiful as fashion, entertainment, and support something as ugly as breast cancer or cancer. And right in that moment, Styletament was born. So Styletament is a theatrical stage production company that fuses the art of style and entertainment from a very unique point of view. And we use the platform to bring awareness of the desperate need to support homeless women, particularly homeless women that are going through breast cancer or that are breast cancer survivors. To one day, we're going to open up a place called Home that will actually provide housing and support and love for these women to live and heal and become productive citizens once again in life. So Styletament is something that we believe everyone should know about across the board. And we're on a mission to really, really bring attention to that particular group of people that I think are kind of like the lost people that are not really being cared for. And what's happening inside of that is they are losing the battle because they don't have proper care. They're either living on the streets or they're living in homeless shelters or living wherever they can live, and they don't really have the support. So we really want to, put our efforts into helping that community of women.
Is just a very powerful, that is definitely a very powerful walkthrough in regards to, quote, how you got here. Hattie, I'd like to pivot to you because your testimony really does align with a lot of the great work that Styletament does. So Hattie, can you walk through with us how you got involved with, such a creative group?
Sure. Well, I personally am a 2-time breast cancer survivor. And in 2019, a friend of Missouri's reached out to me to honor me at one of their events. So that was my opportunity to really meet Missouri and her team. And the event that they held in 2019, it was simply amazing. They honored, I believe it was 6 breast cancer survivors at that time. And they did our makeup and they did our hair and they, had us up on the stage and we shared our stories. It was just a beautiful event and opportunity. So since that time, I actually stayed in touch with Missouri. And then, of course, unfortunately, COVID hit the world. So we weren't in touch that often in 2020. But then in 2021, Missouri reached out, and we've been buddies ever since. So she was telling me about Styletainment and what they're trying to do with the APCH, a place called home, and it got me. So I had no idea that that was the situation, because in my case, I was surrounded with love and support, which was a blessing. But unfortunately, there are people in the world that are going through it alone. So that's how she got me involved, and I'm happy to be here.
Wow. And I tell you what, and we're happy you're still here. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. And not only that, just both of you walking through your individual testimonies. We know that there are viewers out there that thematically or even specifically are living through, and to see the both of you, you're both living and walking testaments of what can happen. Now, speaking of what can happen, I got to see things firsthand this past December for the Old Hollywood Gala. It was a top-notch event. It was acknowledging breast cancer survivors, not only from that year, but really indirectly previously. And from that, it's almost like it's a springboard into this year. So walk us through the current campaign that is really evolving from the Old Hollywood Gala.
Well, Andrew, let me just say we're so happy that you were there on December the 11th. It was truly an affair to remember, and honoring, those 7 breast cancer survivors. It just brought so many visceral emotions up for me, because I had the opportunity to actually meet with each one of them one-on-one to really get to hear their stories and to share my story, one-on-one with them. And I tell you, they came in full gear for the gala. They were dressed to the nines. They were so ready to just take in that someone is taking the time to honor me, which most of us have never been recognized for anything. So it was just so wonderful. And so this year, we are going to be honoring 10 breast cancer survivors. I'm going to let Hattie talk a little bit more about that. But we decided on 10 because this is actually Styletainment's 10th year anniversary. So it's just befitting that if we would choose the number 10 for our honorees. So we're very happy about that. And we have a kickoff coming up on April the 23rd, where we're kicking off the whole 10th year anniversary, with a meet and greet with our honorees, sponsors, potential sponsors, the cast from Styletainment. Hattie and I will be there. It's going to be a wonderful event and opportunity just to, under relaxed circumstances, just enjoy each other, get to know each other. I really believe that it's so important, no matter what level you are in your business, that you take the time to shake the hands with everybody, to talk to everybody. I believe that with my whole heart. And that's what this meet and greet is all about. So we're excited about this year's festivities, along with the kickoff and the gala. We're, bringing back the show, our triumph return of Styletainment, the show, A Cancer Survivor's Story, which is what we started with our stage production. That's going to be October the 20th. So we're excited about what's happening here in Jersey. If you're in Atlanta, if you're in another state, you need to be in New Jersey on October the 20th and the 22nd. You do not want to miss the show or the Gala Awards. And I'm going to let Hattie talk a little bit more about that.
Wow. Okay. Well, yes, as Missouri has said, we will be honoring 10 breast cancer survivors from across the United States. What we did this year, in December, we made an announcement at the end of the evening about in 2022, the date, and we announced basically, if you know a survivor that you want to nominate, please do so. And they started coming in. So we actually have a waiting list. So if we can't get to, we only want to do 10 because of the 10th year anniversary. But if this waiting list will certainly consider those women the following galas. So we're excited. We've already locked in on the date, as you know, October 22nd. And to Missouri's point, she's actually going to do the show 2 days before. That's going to be in New Brunswick as well. And all of this information is on the website, styletainment.com. So anything we share to you today, you can certainly go there. You can see the video from last year's gala and the awesome time we had. You can click on the events tab and it'll share with you what's happening this year. We also have a sponsorship deck. We're going to be looking for sponsors to support us, and particularly the place called Home. We're even going to have a donation drive. So I think Missouri is going to touch on that a little bit. And congratulatory ads. I mean, there are sometimes people just want to do something. They may not be able to do this, but they may be able to do that. So you will have an opportunity to place an ad in our journals this year as well, if you'd like.
Well, I tell you what, that sounds amazing. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to pause real briefly, and when we come back, we want to definitely reinforce that contact information and other key dates. So if we could ask you just to pause for a couple moments, we're going to go to a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to bring the team of Styletainment back to remind you of those upcoming spring dates, website, and all of those types of things. So stick around as we take a brief commercial break. It's the author, Andrew Snorton, reminding you to add my books to your library as well as your favorite readers and more. Nothing Minor focuses on my coverage of minor league baseball in the Southeast. 9 Stories of Faith Volume 1 is for those needing stories of motivation, encouragement, and inspiration. And then there's Deeper for the poetry lovers. Yes, you may order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookstores everywhere, so get them to your libraries. My. If you are 21 and older and based in the greater Los Angeles area, look no further than A Taste of Fly. For any of your events for bartending, catering, private chef, and more, make sure to add A Taste of Fly on your favorite social media platforms, again, for the 21 and older audience. Shouts to members of the Sigma Eta Lambda Foundation, as well as the Loganville Conyers chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Bow ties and big hats is officially sold out. However, if you have a business looking for exposure in the Loganville Conyers area and more, check out the link that you see provided and support them today. Shouts to Poplar Hill Baptist Church up in Beaufort, Georgia, as they will be celebrating the anniversary of their pastor. So mark the date, March 20th. Check out their website for information about this event and their services. And we're excited as we will be covering this great event on Sunday, March 20th at Poplar Hill Baptist Church. Doing good, but doing it greater, that's what Creative Community Solutions is all about. Whether it's ACT, SAT prep, student tutoring and coaching, press and media services, writing and editing services, make sure to check us out at the information provided. And this covers arts and entertainment, sports, government and politics, you name it, we're able to cover, and let's make it happen. The Alphas of Atlanta are hosting the 6th annual Alpha Derby weekend, May 6th through 8th, 2022. Check out their golf tournament, as well as the kickoff social featuring Slip Rick the Ruler, the Saturday main event, and the Sunday jazz brunch. Visit alphaderbyweekend.com for details, including some outstanding sponsorship opportunities. And mark your calendars for May 28th, 29th at the Loudermilk Conference Center. I'll be one of the featured speakers for the Black Podcast Festival taking place in Atlanta. If you check out the website at the bottom of your screen, you may click on that, register, and of course, make sure to come by my speaking engagement as well as others. Take care, and we'll see you soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back after our commercial break. And again, I tell you what, if you weren't excited by the story of Styletainment when they were on in November, you definitely need to be excited with their story right now. Again, we are bringing back Missouri as well as Hattie. So again, and we appreciate you guys just taking and making the time. Missouri, remind folks of the kickoff in April and really just really hammer home the why for people who are in Jersey, in New York, in Connecticut, in Pennsylvania, or people that are looking for a place to go, constructively, of course, why they need to circle April 23rd on their calendar.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, April 23rd is our kickoff celebration. Styletainment is in its 10th year. That's amazing. We started this production 10 years ago. My daughter and I produced this amazing off-Broadway production. I promise you, if you're here October 20th to see it, you will have no regrets. So it's our 10th anniversary for the show, A Can't Survive a Story, for Styletainment. You know, we are celebrating life. You know, we're celebrating, we've gone through so much these last couple of years with the pandemic, but now things are opening up, so we get a chance to come together to celebrate life, celebrate Styletainment, celebrate, you know, cancer survivors, and to celebrate each other. The kickoff event is going to be very important for all of us because it's going to give us a relatedness. Is going to bond us together, you know, because we're all coming out. You know, it's been a while. You know, we had the pleasures of doing the Gala Award in December of last year, which was fantastic. You know, so we're looking to grow the Gala Awards. We want to continue to honor and uplift breast cancer survivors. I'm telling you, they need it so much. They appreciate it so very much. And like I said, none of them have ever been recognized for anything. So coming on April the 23rd, really showing up for these ladies, for Styletainment, for yourself, for celebrating life, is something that you definitely want to come and be a part of. And we appreciate, you know, we hope that you can come out. If you can't come out, then donate, because we are definitely working on a project we call a place called home, that one day will be APCH, housing homeless women that are going through cancer, that are cancer survivors that need some support. You know, we want to start adding to the numbers of saving lives. So the kickoff is all of that. And we really do hope that if you're in Jersey, you could come to the kickoff. If you're in other states, fly in, come to the kickoff for sure, because you will be happy that you did. And it's just an amazing cause, you know, what we're supporting, the passion of Styletainment, who we are, and the people that are involved in it. You know, I'm thankful for Hattie and, you know, and other team members that support Styletainment. Thankful for the cast that we have that's just phenomenal. And it's just really time for us to come together and support, you know, what's happening here with Styletainment. We got to get this house open. We want to continue honoring breast cancer survivors and uplifting their spirits. And we want to continue performing the show. You know, hopefully we can take the show on tour. So coming to the kickoff means that you're supporting all of that and some.
Well, I tell you what, that is definitely, you know, just a powerful story, and it is, you know, putting things in action. Hattie, we know Missouri shared a lot, but in case people didn't get the memo, and if they didn't get the message, remind them not only just the event, but why are you so passionate and purposeful about just the kickoff and just, you know, all the work that's taking place?
Well, I was, even prior to my two diagnoses, I was an advocate leader for breast cancer awareness, because unfortunately a friend of mine was struck by the disease and knew nothing about it. And that was, oh my gosh, probably definitely over 20 years ago. But at any rate, after I was diagnosed the second time and went through my journey which was very, very different than the first time I had it. Like I said, I was praying one day and I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do with all this knowledge that I have now that I've gone through the journey the second time? And I have a very strong faith. You know, I continue to ask him to order my steps, and he's done that via. I launched my own inspirational T-shirt line, and like I said, I met Missouri after I was honored in 2019. And again, I don't mind supporting things that I feel are of value. And I actually met with her personally after she asked me to get involved because I needed to get a clearer understanding on what was happening and what this was all about. And she basically explained it to me just as she's done here on the show. And I was in, you know, didn't take much more than that. Again, there are so many people in the world that just aren't as blessed as we have been. And if we can do something to give back, then that's, you know, what I'd like to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, giving back, you know, and all these other things that tie in, finding your voice, giving back, you know, prayer, persistence, perseverance, you know, passion, purpose, creativity. I mean, it's just oozing out from both of y'all side of the, you know, end of the universe and everything. So what we're going to do is, before we transition to our in-studio guest, could you please remind our viewers the website, the social media information, how people can donate, and then the kickoff date, time, location, so people can definitely make sure to engage and support?
Sure. Our website is styletainment.com, styletainment.com. And when you go to the home page, you'll see a little click on that says 2022 events. If you click on that, it'll take you right to our event page, and everything about our events this year is on that page. The venues that we're going to be at, the kickoff events up there, the gala, the show, everything is up there. Also, we have our sponsorship packages, our congratulatory packages. If you want to donate something to the silent auction that we're having this year, you can, there's a form there that you can click on and donate to the silent auction. Donations, there's a donation tab. I promise you everything that you need to know is on styletainment.com. We just launched our annual donation drive. Information is on there about that. We are working to get members to come on board to support us on an annual basis so that we can achieve our goals. We need funding to do the things that we do. And everything's on the website. The kickoff celebration is at a private event, but there is information online that will give you a phone number or an email address that you can call or email to get the information, you know, once you purchase a ticket. It's at a private event at the moment. It may open up to be an open event, but right now we're keeping it private because we have a pretty large audience and we can only take with so many people in for this particular event. But again, everything is on the website. April 23rd is the kickoff celebration. October the 20th is the show, A Can't Survive a Story. And the gala is October the 22nd at the Hyatt Regency Hotel.
Okay, and there you have it. So again, thank you so much to the team of Styletainment. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next commercial break. We come back, we're going to hoop it up, y'all, as we've got, that's right, we just don't have a player. He's not only a former player, but he's the coach. Almost sound like Biggie. He's not only a client, but the president. So let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and we come back. We'll have Coach Rodney from the Georgia Spartans joining us. So stick around, as we'll be back shortly. Make plans to connect with Chris 10 Media for your media needs today, ranging from photography, video, short film, documentaries, commercials, and more. Do you get the picture? If so, make sure to add Chris10_media on Instagram and your favorite platforms today. Your hat is your crown. Live free. This is the meaning and message behind the creative custom merch for men and women by 1820 Hats. Get your custom men's and women's fedoras at 1820hats.com, as well as 1820 Hats on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, live free. The Georgia Spartans semi-pro basketball team starts their regular season on March 27th with a 4:30 tip-off. Admission is only $10 and VIP is only $20. Add georgiaspartans.com and make sure to enjoy great hoops action. Many thanks to FAM Conversations for their interview of me in late January, and I also want to thank our friends at Scovu TV for having me profiled on the How I Came Up series during Black History Month. These are some ways to get to know me, the author, and the work that I do, but wait, there's more. Add me on Instagram at author A Snorton. Click on the link in the bio to catch up with these and other great interviews, with more forthcoming. Merch, merch, merch. Author A Snorton Origins is the merch line you want to get. Whether it's the Townley Drive edition of t-shirts, as well as the Townley Drive edition for hoodies. Yep, even during this weather, you need a good hoodie. These are some of the high quality work that we have with our partners at 1906 Tees. You may also get your merch, bracelets, mugs, and more by emailing me directly, and we'll go ahead and help you make it happen. So merch from the author. Speaking of partners, many thanks to our friends at the Ear Candy Experience. They provide the intro music, and they provide soothing, sweet-sounding sounds to your spirit and soul. Make sure to connect with them at the information provided for any of your upcoming music needs.
Rise and shine. Time to get on the grind. What's on your mind? Is it how the time rewinds?
Make sure to add the author's mixtape from your favorite stream platforms, including Tidal, SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple Music, Shazam, and more. And make sure to pick up volumes 4 and 5, introducing and featuring Chris 10. It's freestyle, spoken word, poetry, music, and more. So get to it and enjoy the author's mixtape. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Conversation Corner, and again, we have great guests across entertainment, business, community, more. And this joker right here, oh my God, look at here. He already look official. I'm just like, let me make sure, I get my coins up and what have you. So we're so excited to have Coach Rodney from one of our favorite, sports teams, the semi-pro basketball team, the Georgia Spartans. Coach Rodney, how you doing this evening?
I'm great. How about yourself?
You know what? It's Biggie Smalls Day today, so
yes,
we are definitely, man, I know what I'll be bumping when I ride back home.
Yeah, me too.
So before we get into talking about the team, give our viewers a point of reference where you're originally from and a couple of your moving parts. And we do emphasize community because you have that history and that living history and lineage. So walk through that with us.
Well, I'm originally born and raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. Back in '85, I decided I needed to do something with my life, so I joined the Army. Was my contribution to the United States. I did about 10 years there, and I enjoyed it. Traveled Europe, Germany, different countries, Korea on the DMZ. And that pretty much gave me my background for as coaching, because as a sergeant, you got to coach your players.
Wait. Now, not drill sergeant.
No.
Okay.
Just a sergeant, squad leader, I train them for ready for battle.
Yeah.
Same thing in basketball. You train them for battle on the basketball court. But it's a difference, though. You know?
Okay, it's a difference. The only difference I'm hearing is he doesn't have the word drill in front of it.
Hey, they did ask me to be one, so yeah. I spent a little time, 18 years in Louisiana, down in the Cajun country, Creole country, down south on I-10 of Louisiana, near Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
Yes, and I also got a background as my first cousin, Kenny Skywalker, who played for the New York Knicks at one time.
Oh yeah, I remember Kenny Skywalker
Yes, I
played
still
at
communicate
UK.
with him.
Yeah,
Yes.
played at UK.
Yes, yes. Number 2 draft pick, yeah.
Okay.
So I have a little background there. With my travels in the military, I coach unit level basketball. In Europe, I took them all the way to, we call V-Corps or USER, which is the biggest one. So traveled around Europe basketball. Then I came to Fort Knox, coached that team to a post-championship game and won it. And after I got out of the military, loved basketball so much, I started with park leagues, coaching my son. Because, you know, at that time, you need to be a coach to get your son on the court.
But let me ask you this: were you really coaching? Now, again, like you said, anytime you're in leadership, and first off, thank you for your service. We failed to mention that. Thank you for your service. But as a military leader, you know, the tactician, discipline, things along those lines. So again, were you really coaching?
Oh, I can tell you I was really coaching because of the fact they called me.
I don't want no parts of that coaching.
They gave no, they actually gave me the name Coach Riley, if you remember him.
Yes.
Because I used to dress up, have my
Look
clothes
at here.
on.
Look at you. You dressed up right now. What's that term, casket sharp? I don't like using it, but every once in a while there's an exception. Coach Rodney, look at here, casket sharp, military background, coaching background with discipline, dedication, hard work, attention to details.
That's it.
And you like, I'm gonna call you Brother Shaft. You a bad fill in the blank right here. So like you said, you have the military background, the leadership background. You've coached basketball on that level. You transition to the park leagues, and you know, like you said, just modeling, you know, what you do at home. So how did you go from coaching there to working your way into coaching semi-professional?
Well, like I was saying, in military, I dealt with grown men, which is close to being semi-pro. You know, and so that where I transitioned at. When I got here, I said I wanted to step it up because I have schooling at LSU, coaching. I took the classes and all that, show you how to pretty much do things and manage things. So I had to get that class in just in case I wanted to coach high school. That would have been one of my levels there, or even volunteer to coach at high schools. Back in the days, you could do that, but nowadays you can't really volunteer like they used to.
It's a little different.
Yeah, it's very different. So next thing I had to think about is I did AAU, but then I thought about they have semi-pro because I know they had in football. So let me call around. So I found this number here with Georgia Spartans. He asked for a resume. I sent it to him. Then he asked me to meet him in person. Also run the tryouts for the team. Did that. And now here I am. I'm the coach of this basketball team. And like you said, I'm very detailed. But when you're dealing with professional level, it's a certain way to coach them. You can't just come in and take over with an iron rod or something like that, you know. So you have to kind of like blend yourself in with the team and build their confidence in who you are. And that's what I was doing. And but I can tell you this. Great players.
And I'm glad you talked about where it's understanding your audience. So the way that, quote, you're going to be disciplined, regimented, tactician with, let's say, someone in elementary school, middle school, high school is going to be a little bit different. Like you said, you're working with grown men. They already have a skill set. They already have a love for the game. walk through with us, because we know you've got an exhibition game coming up this
Right.
Saturday. Walk through with us, really. I'll say we always hear in sports chemistry and all this type of thing. Walk through where you see the team's chemistry at this point, even though we know the regular season's a couple weeks down the road. But walk through, for lack of a term, the growth that you're seeing.
Well, this team been established since 11 years, and some of the players has been there since the team started. So you have a player like Tony Brown. He's his jersey number is number 1, and very much everybody listens to him. You know, he's a kind of like a coach player on the court, just like Doc Rivers was at one time with Atlanta.
With him playing point guard, that's what you want.
Exactly.
That point guard is that extension of the coach.
Exactly, and that's where I see the chemistry, because, like I said, they've been playing together for a while. So why come in as a coach and change that chemistry? I'm just coming there, but when I watch them play, I feel it. So it's just relax. They'll do what they gotta do. You know, I don't have. Most time you do have to call certain things. I call them out and tell them what they're doing wrong. But on the other hand, you let them play ball. But
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's a team that has a solid track record. And last season, in covering and working with the team, this is a team that, first off, overall, they only lost 2 games the entire year by a
Right.
combined 7 points. Like, that's like 1 shot, 2 shots.
Yes.
And they ended up falling just a couple of points short in their championship game. As a coach, you know, you're always looking for things, quote, to keep players locked in, motivated. Do you see yourself kind of, when they are kind of getting slightly off, which, you know, with the veteran team doesn't necessarily happen, when they get slightly off, are you like kind of pulling that card, like, remember what happened last season? Because sometimes, like, here's a good analogy. Like, I think back to the NBA season in 2013 when the San Antonio Spurs basically blew that series against Miami. They blew it. Everybody knows it. They blew it.
Right.
And they came in with a chip on their shoulder. And even a Tim Duncan, who didn't talk a lot, was like, we're ready to blankety, blankety, blank. And that's what they did.
Right.
So do you see kind of like that same mentality or edge as they're walking into this season? Or is it more, let's do what we know we're capable of doing?
so,
Or is it a little bit of both? Is it just depend?
What I depend on, since I'm first time coach here, I depend on the players really to get a feel of what they're thinking as well, and so I do have input on if they're not hustling or what have you. We get, I mean, they're grown men, so you can see. You don't have to tell them too much. We need to get a hustle on here.
Mm-hmm.
You look where we at. Look at the clock. Look at the time. We need to do something about this. Especially when one game we was down by 20 points. We managed to get back up in the game and win it. So this is things I pay attention to, the hustle, and so I'm getting to know everybody. All the games we got different players coming in from last year.
Right.
You know, I understand we have something like 6-8 that might be in because they work. So it's just adjusting to what we got, you know, because everybody's got a job. And that's one thing about semi-pro. They have normal jobs.
Right. Yeah. And that ties in with one of the things you said before, discipline, like semi-professional, not just for the basketball league that the Spartans are playing in, but just about anybody who's semi-professional. That's not the only thing they're doing. It takes a lot of discipline. Yeah. It takes a lot of time management. Some of these folks have families. Like
yes.
It's a lot more moving parts than what people realize. Coming into this Saturday, what can you share with us about the team that you're playing? If there's any, scouting or what have you, but even if you're not aware of the team that you're playing, what are things that you know that the team will need to do to make sure to set the tone and put themselves in a position to win?
Well, being is my first year in this type of coaching arena, I noticed a lot of teams, you wouldn't believe how they can hit three-pointers so easy. They play like it's an easy sport. And I'm like, we got to get some defense on these guys. I couldn't believe it. Just watching the player come down the court, 3-pointer like it ain't nothing, and constantly doing it. So we have to play more defense, and that's our thing right now. And winning is defense to make it a little bit easier for us to play.
And you make a good point, because we hear defense wins championships, but sometimes a solid defense really only supplements what you do on offense.
Right.
And you made an interesting point, and we know that there might be a moment or two where, okay, you might not fully be locked in, but by the same token, like you said, to your point, the team got themselves in a 20-point hole and they were able to dig themselves out of it. But as a coach, you know, you don't want to always have to do that.
No.
Look at here, you got ample salt and pepper. We don't want it turned into something else. You still got, you know, my days are done, but you still got a little bit on your crown. I know you try to make sure to maintain. So in preaching defense and I guess just making adjustments, do you see where when players are buying into that, it really is making their offense a little easier?
You know, like you have players that's good on defense, players that's good on offense. So when you have a 5-man out there, you have to try to have both out there at the same time. In order to manage it right, you got to have both. And that's my thing is defense. You can't, you know, you have to know how to do it. And these guys, like I said, they come in from work, they come straight into basketball. So, yeah, they start off slow. Then they manage to get into the game themselves, and that's what I like about semi-pro. I mean, these guys, they want to win. Mm-hmm. They want to win so bad. I listen to them, they argue with each other, but they get each other on track.
Now, would you say it's a fine line? Would you say it's arguing, or they're just so passionate about win? Because here's the reason why I say that, and it's funny how, and here's a great example of why people are like, oh, they're arguing. No, they might not be, because a retired Tom Brady can cuss and fuss all day long, and he's passionate, but then somebody else, oh, they're a hothead. So. And I'm saying that because on the outside, that's what it looks like, but you're around them day to day. So even though they, quote, may butt heads slightly, they're butting heads, but they want the same end result.
Exactly.
Those are players who are passionate. And talk with us about, for lack of a better term, the joy that you have as a coach when you are coaching and working with people who are passionate. Walk through, what does that mean to you when you're around people that they're already bringing the smoke, they're already bringing the heat?
Right. Well, being that I'm passionate, I love to be around other players that are passionate. Like I said, they're so passionate, makes your job easier because they can boost up the other players to get where they need to be as well. And that's how I see being passionate. You have to love the game. I mean, I don't watch basketball every day and all day on television, but I'm passionate about winning as well. But you have to understand that you win some and you lose some. But, you know, some passionate people can't take losing. So you have to keep them balanced as a coach because they can get off track when they lose because they don't like losing. So that's the thing about that, you know, me just keeping them focused. And that's it.
Well, it sounds like you said, you have a love for the game, passion for the game. You already have the know-how, wherewithal. Then on top of that, with your leadership background, it's like it's almost like Wu-Tang up in here. You've got like different styles. Like which one of the 36 chambers you feel like opening and entering? Look at the hip-hop references, you know, from the slums of Shaolin to Bed-Stuy to a...
Yep.
Y'all getting a little bit of geography lesson out here. So we know this coming. So 2 dates, you know, for this month that I definitely want you to remind our viewers of. You've got the game coming up this Saturday, and then the regular season opener. So walk through with us first this Saturday and why basketball fans or fans of teamwork, team play, get out for a little bit Saturday afternoon. Remind folks this Saturday for the Saturday exhibition game.
So, yes, we do have an exhibition game. It's going to be against West Georgia. West Georgia. I can't remember.
That's okay. West Georgia Royals. We do
Yeah,
have it up
Royals.
on screen. West Georgia Royals.
Okay, yeah. It's going to be 2771 Columbia Drive in Decatur at 3 o'clock. Admission is $10. And let me explain that $10. We do a lot of charity work. Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot of. This is one thing I like about it, because I'm in an organization, as we speak, this world-renowned organization that we do charity work wherever we're at. And that's one thing I like about this team, charity work. The money that's being donated is going out to kids for Christmas and different things of that nature. And you can't beat that. You're taking regular guys from their job to bring them in to play basketball for fundraisers, to help children, needed children. You know, you can't beat that.
And to your point, the Georgia Spartans really do have an outstanding track record, from like Easter egg hunts to Thanksgiving, you know, feeding families, Christmas. They really do. If you go on their website of GASpartans.com, they have an extensive track record of doing service and outreach.
When you talk about 500 families, Turkey, that's a whole.
That's
it's
a lot.
Unbelievable.
That's a lot. So shouts to Jarrell, the owner, doing some really visionary work. So that's this coming Saturday. That's at Exchange Park, like you said, 2771 Columbia Drive in Decatur, where it's greater. So you definitely need to make sure we're shouting out. I know we in the A in the 404-770, but you getting your dose of the tri-state. But we're throwing you a little something. Right. But again. This coming Saturday, and then the regular season March 27th. So walk through with us some of the details regarding the regular season opener March 27th.
Well, I haven't got all details from the owner. I really can't tell you as much because of so I'm just waiting, and I would pretty much fall in place.
That's no problem. That's no problem. Can we get? I think we have that flyer. Can we get that flyer up, and I'll go ahead and read that aloud. So it looks like the regular season games are also going to be at Exchange Park, or a number of them will be at Exchange Park. But at least the season opener at Exchange Park, that'll be on March 27th, 4:30 tip-off. So you need to get there about 4:15. As you get there, 4 o'clock, and see them warm up. Right, just a suggestion.
Right.
And then again, it's $10 entry, but $20 for the VIP, which gets you courtside, food, and as we said before, so much of what this team does goes back into the immediate and interlocking community. As you see on the lower right-hand portion of your screen, GASpartans.com. You need to make sure to go ahead and check them out and check it out.
Yes,
so before we go to our final break, and then from our final break, our closing remarks, if people don't remember anything about the work you have done, the work you are doing, the team, any of that, what's one message you'd like to deliver to our audience, whether it's sports related or just life related?
One thing is, I've noticed a lot of times you can go to a game, you see things, but I must say is, for the kids' sake, sportsmanship is very important that you can use on the court. You can shake a hand. You don't have to be mad at the opposite team. Just shake their hand. Say, how you doing? You know, sportsmanship is the key, especially for our kids today. We don't need, all the fussing. Kids can be, because I've heard of a team one time, coach, everybody fighting and going on. But sportsmanship is the key for any type of sport you play.
Well, I tell you what, those were lessons from the coach, from the sergeant major.
I wish.
We're going to take our last break, and then we're going to close out with a couple of quick announcements.
So I always go back to that, and I always feel that Lisa is kind of guiding me. Lisa is putting people in front of me that need.
So you have the darkness here. Every hat tells a story, because everything is like I told you before. Everything is faith-based. These hats have different colors. I would love for you. Oh, there it is on the screen.
No.
Bam.
We have been present. Alpha Phi Alpha, like I said, was founded in 1906, and we've been present in front of the scenes and behind the scenes at every important pivotal moment in American history since 1906.
Entertainment,
business, community, and more. Join us every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Status Network, the Lyve TV channel, for the Conversation Corner hosted by the author Andrew Snorton. And let's have a conversation. Shown on the Status Network, Lyve TV, and let's have a conversation. We'll see you soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back to go ahead and close out. And again, what we do, entertainment, business, community, more. We're so grateful to our guests from Styletament, representing the home state, New Jersey. Shouts to Coach Rodney being here in studio. We've got a couple of quick things that we want to show you before we close out. So we want to give shouts to the Atlanta Braves for hosting the second annual HBCU Baseball Classic. Ralph Garr, Bill Lucas, they are both players in the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame. Ralph Garr is an alum of Grambling State University, and the late Bill Lucas, who is the first African American to be a general manager for a Major League Baseball team, is an alum of FAMU. And that is where we covered the entire weekend, and that is the great Ralph Garr. I tell you what, just the fact that he took time to chop it up with me is real big. Now that joker right there, shouts to my cousin Claude, who we're just sending a word of prayer and encouragement up for him. He had a let's say more severe than a fender bender, but we were very grateful to the staff at Vanderbilt University Medical for doing great work. So shouts to my first cousin Claude. That's us at the Alpha Derby weekend. So shouts to the Alphas of Atlanta, who will be coming in real they'll be coming in real soon to talk about that. Now, for those of us on the nostalgia end, the name Johnny Brown might not be too familiar, but if you remember the character Bookman from Good Times, he passed on March the 2nd, but at the ripe age of 84, he also did a lot of voiceovers and other things in arts and entertainment. So, of course, with some of the people from the cast of Good Times who are transitioning, a little bit of, nostalgia, but we, anybody that had a passing, prayers, condolences, and encouragement, but that one kind of definitely struck us right there. Yeah. And another passing, and I was blessed to be able to connect with this Atlanta media person. If you weren't familiar with Silas Simon, baby, who has a long track record, he and his first cousin transitioned after a bout with pancreatic cancer. We want to send prayers, condolences, and encouragement to the Alexander family, who was so kind to do a public viewing on Monday, and then yesterday doing the private service. So even in the midst of that, when transitions happen, we still want to say thank you for the service that you have rendered. And, even though there are going to be some tough times, challenging times, we still want to celebrate the life, be motivated, encouraged, inspired, and just make the most of the day as best as possible. So on that note of a little bit of sadness, but also a lot of perspective, we want to thank all of our guests. Shouts to JoJo, shouts to Jack, Yannette, Kush, the entire team. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Take good care, be safe out there, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.